Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson of the day. This is your Sarah Ran, your teacher. We'll be talking about ratio and proportion, but first let's take a ratio. What is ratio? Ratio is a comparison of two or more quantities. Now, let's use this illustration. You are asked to give the ratio of squares to rectangles. For example, you refer to the figures. You have here squares and rectangles. So actually it can be written in three ways: the word form, the column form, and the fraction form. And these are the ways we can write ratios. In word form, you can write the ratio is 6 squares is to 5 rectangles. So you add the word is to. And then we have the column form, which you use the colon sign. 6 is to 5, which colon sign is read as S2. And then you have the fraction form 6 over 5. Okay, and then in 6 is to 5 ratio, there are two terms. Of course, the 6 is the first term, 5 is the second term. Your first term is called the antecedent, so our antecedent here is 6, and our second term is 5, which is our consequent. We're not going to discuss that further since I know that is already encountered by you in your previous year's school. Now let's take this example. A box contains 100 eggplants and tomatoes. There are 60 tomatoes inside the box. So what is the ratio of eggplants to tomatoes? So that's the problem. Of course, the total is 100, no? So you are going to subtract the number of tomatoes from the total number so that you can get the number of eggplants. And therefore, you have 100 minus 60 is equal to 40. That 40 is actually your number of eggplants inside the box. So you can now give the ratio of eggplants to tomatoes, which is 40 to 60. Alright, or 40 is to 60. And then you're going to simplify that. That's 2 is to 3. Now example 2. A science class of 40 students is going to a field trip. If they will travel using two school buses, how many students are there in each bus? What is the ratio of the bus to students? So yeah, it's very easy. Even if you're not going to pay much time for it, you can just actually give the answer quickly. You know that there are 20 students in each of the bus, since you're just going to divide 40 into 2. And the ratio of bus to students is you have 1 is to 20. Very simple, provided the bus can carry passengers at least 20. Okay, now what is proportion? Proportion is a statement of two equal ratios. Take note, two equal ratios. So there exist two ratios but are equal before we call it a proportion. Now, it can be written in two ways, as equal fractions and as equal ratios that use colon. Yeah, for example, you have here as equal fractions, you have a over b equals c over d, or using colon, that's a is to b equals c is to d. But the proper way to read it, as you are going to make use of that, is to b, the equal sign is read as, no? So you are going to say a is to b as c is to d, provided a, b, c, and d are non-zero. Okay? Two ratios must be equal before we consider it's a proportion. So that's the most important that we need to consider. So consider first the law of proportions. Actually, there are 5 laws of proportion, especially the geometric proportion. But for basic, we make use of the number 1 law, which is the means extremes product law of proportion. So when we say we cross multiply, we actually apply the law, that states that the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes, and that all you have to do is identify your extremes and identify your means. Your means are the inner terms and your extremes are your outer terms. So in our example here, 2 is to 5 as 8 is to 20. That's the proper way to read it. Again, 2 is to 5 as 8 is to 20. Your means is 5 and 8, no? The second and the third term. So you multiply that, 5 times 8, that's equal to 40. And then your extremes are the first and the fourth terms. So 2 and 20, you multiply 2 and 20, you have 40. So you see the product of the means and the extremes here are equal, and then you conclude that the given 2 is to 5 as 8 is to 20 is a proportion because the ratios are equal. Or you may check it using the second way, the quotient. No, quotient must be are equal. Okay, they must be equal. How you do that? You can rewrite your given into fraction form. So you have 2 is to 5 as 8 is to 20 in fraction form. That connotes division. Fraction connotes division. So 2 over 5 or 2 divided by 5, actually you have 0.4 or 0.4. And you do the same to 8 over 20, that's 8 divided by 20. You have also 0.4. That gives you the same quotient. So if that's the case, you can also say that the given is a proportion. Now, let's take this example. Check whether the given ratios are equal. The given ratios are 2 and 3 and 12 is to 18. I mean 2 is to 3 and 12 is to 18. Using the law of proportion, the means extreme product law of proportions, you multiply the means 3 times 12 and you multiply the extremes 2 times 18, then try to check if the product are the same. So as you multiply 3 times 12, that's 36, and then 2 times 18, that's 36 also. Therefore, product of the means equal to the product of the extremes. And so you can say that, oh, the given pair of ratios are proportion is a proportion. So you can write it this way: 2 is to 3 as 12 is to 18. You can also check using the second way of checking it. You check the quotient, write first the first ratio in fraction form and the second ratio also in fraction form, then go to division. So 2 over 3 is the same as 2 divided by 3. That's approximately 0.67. And 12 divided by 18 is also approximately 0.67. That means you have the same quotient. You can also make use of that as to conclude that the given is a proportion. Therefore, you can write it as 2 is to 3 as 12 is to 18, a proportion. Now, if you were to identify the proportions below, which among A, B, C, and D are proportions? I will leave that to you. Have your answers in the comment box below now, and write it as a comment. I think that's all. Um, you watch out for the continuation of this video. That's about the 5 geometric laws of proportions or the geometric proportions, and so we will have the laws of proportions. That's it. Thank you and bye bye.